wonderful? Oh my gosh, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the very last episode of the DIY show. I can't believe it went so fast. I can't believe it went so fast. You know what? And as you can tell, I'm here all by myself. Mr. Eric's not here today. So we're gonna miss him, but you know, said he was gonna try and call in, so we'll see. We'll see if he does later on in the show. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we've been talking about all month on the DIY show. Who remembers? Who remembers what we've been talking about all month? That's right, it's forgiveness. We've been talking about forgiveness. And remember, forgiveness is deciding that someone who has wronged you doesn't have to pay. Now remember, the most important thing there, it says deciding. Because forgiveness, remember we talked about it, it's a decision, it's not a feeling. We decide that we're going to forgive somebody, and we can do that because God has put everything that we need. He's put His love in our hearts, and we have the fruit of the Spirit, and we have everything that we need inside of us to be able to make that decision to forgive. So that's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting. And we finished our project, and we're going to reveal what the special purpose is today. And I think, what is that? Someone's telling me Eric's calling in. Oh my goodness, let's see if we can get him on the big smart board here. Hold on a second. Let's see, Mr. Eric. We need to be patient. Let's see, we'll try this one. Oh, there he is, everybody. Say hi to Mr. Eric. Hey, it's so good to see you. We miss you.
Good to see you.
We're so glad that you can join us. Isn't this cool? Mr. Eric can join us on the big smart board. I love it. I love it, Mr. Eric.
Super excited to be able to join you guys and see the completion of our very special project. So,
Can you see it? Can you see it?
To be here.
I put the handles on already. Pretty good, huh?
Nice. Looks great.
Well, this is our last show, and I thought it might be fun to just maybe talk about some of the things we've learned all month on the DIY show. I remember the very first week. You know what, Mr. Eric, I know our very first and most important rule is that we should wear our safety goggles, but since we're just talking, I'm going to take mine off because they're getting all foggy again, and we can't have that. So there we go. So amen. So I remember the very first week, Mr. Eric, that you didn't want to take the time to see if we had all of our tools, and you thought it was going to be okay to use a hacksaw to cut wood, and that didn't work out too well for you, did it? As a matter of fact, hold on, do we have that piece of wood? Hold on, let me look at let me see here. Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's right here. Look, can you see it? Look at it. Look how bad it's cut. Look how bad it's cut. Oh my goodness.
I've worked on that for hours.
Well, it didn't work because it wasn't the right tool for the job. Wasn't the right tool for the job. Remember?
No, we learned a very important lesson that week, though.
We did.
We learned that forgiveness matters, and that you have to have the right tools for the job. So
that's
those are the
right.
two things I took away from week one.
We learned that forgiveness matters, and we learned that was that story, the unmerciful servant, who he was forgiven, and then he refused to forgive, didn't he? And his life didn't turn out so good. He ended up in jail. So forgiveness matters, just like having all the tools matters. And then I remember you were so excited the second week, you came walking in with your jigsaw, and you're like, here we go, we're going to cut this week. And then we saw that we had imperfections in our wood and we had to paint it. And you were disappointed once again.
The kids were so helpful in painting those imperfections away.
They were.
So thank you so much for that. But we learned that, forgiveness, you can cover those imperfections. So that was another big thing that I kind of took away from it too.
Yeah.
And I think there was a story about, I can't say, Zacchaeus?
Zacchaeus. Can everybody say Zacchaeus? Zacchaeus. Do you remember about Zacchaeus? He was not a nice guy. He was cheating people. He was a tax collector. And then when Jesus forgave him, he had a change of heart. And it was kind of like just like the old...
How many times?
Four times.
Four times.
Yeah. Put this piece of wood away. Gave back 4 times. So that was a good lesson. That was a good lesson to be learned at all. I remember the next week you were very anxious to cut and you didn't want to double check, remember? You just wanted to cut. And you almost wrecked our project. You almost wrecked our project because you didn't want to take the time to double check. Remember kids? Measure twice, cut once. I remember that. Jesus had something to say about that.
It was a very rule.
Yeah, it was cool.
I've learned so much in these past couple weeks in the DIY show. You know, that rule definitely sticks out, to measure twice and cut once.
Yeah.
But I also took away from that, you know, when Jesus told us the Sermon on the Mount, is to really take the first step to forgive others. And when you go to Jesus, to just double check in your heart and make sure that you may have to forgive someone before you give to the Lord. Because He wants you to give with a
very
open,
important. I'm so glad you remember. We got a funny message on our board here. I'm so glad. Okay, we have a warning. I'm so glad that you remember all these lessons, because that's the whole most important thing of the show. Awesome. And then last week was great. I remember last week you came with your fancy hairdo. Remember?
Well, you see my hair now? I had to get it cut, and it's not growing back correctly. So.
Oh, how was the celebration for Miss Jackie?
It was great. She won a major award, and it was a good time to celebrate.
And how's your eye?
It's all better. I just have to wear these glasses now for the next couple weeks. I can't use contacts.
I'm so glad. I felt so bad, and I'm so glad you forgave me.
Well, I'm so glad you forgave me. I was very mean and rude, and I blamed everything on you, and in reality, I should have my safety goggles on. I mean, it is first and most important rule of the DIY show.
For a reason. Yeah, it really is.
You should do it.
It really is, and I'm so glad that we had that wonderful Bible story about the son that went away and how his father forgave him when he came back. And he didn't even really deserve to be forgiven, but the father forgave him anyway, because...
Reminds me when I came back after yelling at you, you were just so happy to see me. You wanted to me a big hug. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because we need to remember that everybody needs to be forgiven. Miss Adrian, Mr. Eric, the son in the story. We all need to be forgiven.
Even Mr. Bill, he's been
look who's here! Oh my gosh, Mr. Bill! It's so good to see you. We missed you so much.
Great to be back on a DIY show.
Awesome!
How are you, Mr. Eric?
Hey, Mr. Bill, how are you?
Good to see you.
Oh my gosh, we missed you so much.
I missed you guys.
Yeah, well, we hope you had a good time the week you were here.
I had a great time.
You know, I was thinking about you all the time because, you know, you left your tool belt here.
I know.
And I was just like, he's got to come back someday and get his tool belt. So, you know what's really cool?
What's
I just
that?
had this idea. Well, kids, I guess it's time to tell you what the special purpose was for our tray. And
I'm so excited.
I know.
Here it is. Here's the tray. And our very special purpose was we were going to have special snack today in church on our tray. But, you know, you're not here for us to have special snack. So Miss Jerry, we're still gonna have our special snack. Here's our tray. Miss Jerry, could you be kind enough to get all the goodies and put them on the tray and bring them back? 'Cause I have another idea.
Okay, Missy.
I have another idea.
Too bad all those kids couldn't be here to.
Well, I have an idea, Mr. Bill. Since you're back
Yeah.
and you've been gone, I think we should have a celebration to welcome you back.
I think that's a great idea.
I think that's a good idea. What do you think, Eric?
Wait, you guys gonna have a special snack without me and everybody?
Well,
Yeah,
sorry,
to
Mr.
celebrate
Eric,
Mr. Bill coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting.
We did all the work, Miss A. We did all the work.
Well, I know that, but he's been gone, and we didn't know when he was going to come back. So it's a good thing to celebrate.
I'm done.
Why don't you join us? Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Well, you know what? Let's have a celebration, everybody.
Okay.
Let's celebrate. Jerry, why don't you bring over our special snack, and let's just have a celebration time.
Poor
Yes,
Mr.
Here we
Eric,
go.
let's start this out.
Delicious, Miss
Oh my
Ann.
goodness.
Can't wait. We got the balloons.
Oh, we got balloons. Chocolate milk. All right, Mr. Bill. Woo! Oh, woo, woo, Mr. Bill.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. And now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Luke, chapter 15, verses 21 through 32.
When Jesus wanted to share something important, He often told a story to explain what He meant. Now, one day, the religious leaders were grumbling because Jesus chose to bring in outcasts and people who did things wrong.
He hangs out with sinners and even, eats with them.
Jesus knew their hearts. These men thought they were better than everyone else. So He told them the story of a man and his 2 sons. Now, the youngest son asked for his share of his father's money, and he took off. He spent his money on parties and all other stuff. But then, the money ran out, and he ended up at a miserable job feeding pigs, while he himself starved. Desperate, the young son returned home, planning on begging for mercy and working as a servant. Instead, his father welcomed him with open arms and even planned a party for his lost son in his honor. Ultimately, seemed like a happy ending. But Jesus wasn't finished with the story yet.
The older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing.
If Jesus were to tell that story to us today, it might sound something like this. The older brother, let's call him Will. He spent the entire day working hard, perhaps plowing up the packed dirt on a brand new field.
Come on, Bessie. Just one more row. Gotta finish before the light goes.
As the sun slipped behind the hill, Will finished breaking the dirt on his last long row.
I just need some water and a quiet meal and bed.
Will trudged slowly back to the house and left Bessie in the barn with a bag of oats.
If my slacker brother hadn't run off, I wouldn't have to work so hard.
As Will neared the house, he was surprised to see the lights blazing from every window.
What is going on?
Will stopped, trying to make sense of all the activity and the music. Then, the back door opened. One of the servants stepped outside to throw out a bowl of scrap, and she turned to go back inside.
Wait.
The servant paused.
What's happening?
It's just the party for your brother.
The what for my what?
You haven't heard? Your brother showed up this afternoon. Your dad had the fattest calf killed and roasted to celebrate. He is so thankful Jake's safe.
A party? My dad is throwing a party?
I'll let the family know you're back.
What? No. I am not coming in.
The servant wrinkled her nose.
Whew. You want someone to run you a bath first?
Leave me alone.
The servant hurried back inside. Will paced as his exhaustion vanished and anger coursed through his veins.
I work all day. Every day. Has Dad ever thrown a party for me?
Will stalked back and forth, fuming as the back door opened up again. His father hurried out.
Will, here you are.
Well, look at that. You decided to remember I exist.
Your brother is back. He's okay.
Well, that is just fantastic.
We're all celebrating, but it's not complete without you. Come on inside.
Will turned and looked directly at his father, eyes blazing.
All these years, I've worked non-stop for you. I've done every single thing you asked, and you never even given me a goat to have a party with my friends.
You never said you wanted.
This son of yours runs away with your money and wastes it like a fool. Then he shows up and you roast a fatted calf and throw a giant shindig.
Will's father sighed, took a deep breath, and looked Will directly in the face.
My son, you are always with me. Everything I have is yours, but
We had to celebrate and be glad. This brother of yours was dead for all we knew. And now he's alive again. He was lost, and now he is found.
Look, I'm real tired. I plowed the entire north field.
Thank you.
I think I'll just go to bed.
Won't you come into the party? Just for a few minutes.
Will hesitated. He could see the people through the window, dancing, eating, full of joy. The light and the music called them.
Please, Will.
We don't know if the older brother ever listened to his father. We don't know if he ever forgave his younger brother. We don't know if he chose to go and enjoy the party. But what we do know is that if he stayed outside, he missed out on many good things.
Woo! Woo!
Boy, that was one heck of a celebration.
That was
Mr. A.
some
You know how to throw a
celebration.
party.
I sure hope you feel welcome back, Mr. Bell.
I do, Miss A. It's wonderful to be
Oh,
back.
that's
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
That's awesome. Look.
Hey,
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 Eric.
Eric, you're back.
hi guys. I just want to say I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm so excited to have you back, and I don't know why I got so upset. You know, I guess I'm hungry, maybe. Or I
That's
just-
okay,
I don't
Eric.
know. Huh?
That's okay. We forgive you. We're just glad you're back.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm glad you're back. I'm just glad we're all together again, and you know we can celebrate. So I'm just glad we're all together again.
well, we're done.
Yeah,
We're done with the
We're
celebration.
done with the celebration. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I guess you missed out.
What a shame.
I guess you missed out. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean, that's fine.
Kind of reminds me of like what happened in our Bible story today, Mr. Bell.
Sure does. I mean, boy, the prodigal son, remember when he came back and his father threw him a great big party?
Bigger
with
than
all
ours.
his friends, and they had the best food, but the brother was mad. And you know, the father told him he could have had a party anytime he wanted.
That's right.
But the brother
Well, if
was
we could
still
have a
mad.
party anytime we wanted, why don't we?
What? Well, you know, I don't see any reason why we can't continue our celebration.
I agree.
Are you going to
That was
join us,
fun.
kids?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's start the music and let's celebrate. All right.
There we go.
Woo! We got snacks and treats. Come on, Mr. Ellis, let's celebrate. Oh boy, welcome back, Mr. Ellis. Woo! Woo! Thanks for coming to our showcase.